Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and guys, thank you so much for all your support and how far this channel has come. Now, I'm truly grateful that I've been getting feedback and really trying to build this channel up, so hopefully I can keep doing better and improving. Now, let's quickly get into this video. I want to thank Gateron for sending me out the new Jade Gateron switch. So this is the new Ruby switch that we're going to go right into, so let's go do a sound test, information, and more. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Now, thank you again, Gateron, for sending me out the Jade Ruby Pro switch. Now, introducing to you guys the Gateron Jade Ruby Pro. So this is a 50-gram switch. It is not just a recolor from what Gateron was saying. I was wondering if this was just a recolor of the Jade Pro, but they were saying that it is not. And we're gonna have to go and do a sound test, of course, to see what the switch sounds like and how it is. we did the sound test, right? We got the information of the switch. So what are my thoughts? Now, comparing this switch to the Jade, like the regular Gateron Jade switch, I would have to say it sounds a lot more muted. It feels a little bit heavier in a way. I felt a little bit of finger fatigue, actually. It was kind of interesting that I did feel some finger fatigue using the switch. And it really does sound a lot more muted than a Jade Pro will, especially when you compare it within my sound test to Jade Gaming switch. It definitely has a lot more of a muted sound from the Ruby. Now, out of all of the sounds that we've done and like all of the switches that we've done, my favorites in terms of the super clean and smoothness would be these two switches. So as you can see here, it's the Owl T switch or Ti switch and the Geon Raw HE. They're going to be a lot more smoother with the feel as well as the sound. So keep that in mind for yourselves. I'm going to say at the moment right now, these two are going to be my all-time favorite switches. It's just my personal preference. And if everyone's going to have their own personal preferences. Just over time, everything changes too, right? So your personal preference might even change over time. For me, I liked a lot more deeper sounding switches and a little bit more muted. Now I'm starting to kind of move over and the Owlabs Ti switch or T switch and the Geon Raw HE for me are a little bit better. So definitely, I say out of the sound test, the two are going to be my preference over the Jade Ruby. Gonna be honest, it sounds a little bit muted. So now let's go into a backlighting and stem wobble test of the switches, and then I'll give you guys just a overall thought comparing every single one. So let's go straight into the stem wobble test. So as you can see here, the Jade Ruby Pro actually surprisingly really little stem wobble. I actually was thinking that there would be a little bit just because I know the Jade Pro does have a bit of stem wobble. It's actually a little bit worse than this Jade Ruby Pro is, but the Jade Ruby Pro actually very little, very impressive. Now this is the Gateron Jade Gaming, and of course the rice pudding and the rice pudding and the Latenpow Deng God, as well as the TTC King of Magnet Palm. They're all box stems, so you really get very little stem wobble. This has so far been one of my favorite switches lately. It's the Owlabs Ti switch or Ti, and then of course we have the Geon Raw HE, which is again one of my top two right now. These two are probably my favorites, as I was saying. Very little stem wobble each, very smooth and very crisp sound. The MOYU Black Knight, over time I've actually noticed that I really don't like it, even though its stem wobble wise is very great, but just do not like the feel and sound. Now the Jade Max, I always had issues. Sound-wise is great, but the stem wobble too, very little, mostly vertically. So going into the backlighting test, so from the left is going to be the Jade Ruby Pro, the Jade Gaming, the Rice Pudding, the Latenpow, the TTC King of Magnet Palm, the Owlabs Ti switch, the Geon Raw HE, the MOYU Black Knight, and then the Gateron Jade Max. Now, as you can see here, the Jade Pro, the Ruby Pro, is really not great for backlighting in terms of color accuracy. It has a red hue that comes through every time. Like whatever colors we're doing, we're gonna see the red. So I'm gonna be giving you guys a little bit of a showing of like the backlighting tests as well. So I had it at 80%, and that when it got brighter was the 100%. In general, backlighting wise, I would say the best is like the Jade Max, and then the Jade Gaming's okay. You do get a slight green, but not. It's very slight, like very slightly. The Owlabs Ti switch does have a slight hue to it. The lighting's not amazing because of the color of the diffuser, but it's still decent. The Geon Raw HE, though, I'd say color accuracy is really great, but the pure backlighting wise, I would say like the rice pudding is probably much better in terms of just pure how bright it can get. But the Jade Ruby, I would not suggest for the backlighting. Going into actually opening up the switch, so a little bit more in depth of the switch itself, so to give you guys an idea. So we're going to open up with the regular switch puller, which is great. You can just open it up, and then we can actually take out the stem and take a look. It does have some factory lubing. So as you guys can see there, it is slightly factory lubed, not a lot, which is okay. So like getting these stock, you can I would actually suggest hand lubing. I think hand lubing is much better than just factory lube, but this does come with some factory lube. Now I'm going to try to measure the spring as well. So because I'm using a measuring tool, it's not as 100% accurate, but of course we're going to try to see how accurate we can get with it, and then show you guys the actual spring distance. So so they said it's 20 millimeters, and it should be at that 20 millimeter range. Because I'm using this specific measuring tool. Of course, it's going to be off by a little bit. So we are looking at a 20 millimeter spring for this switch. Now, as well as the whole switch itself, it is okay. I think it's just, as I was mentioning, it's very muted sounded, which is not really my cup of tea. And as you can see here, the magnet on the bottom, it does protrude a little bit. So just keep in mind for the stem, the magnet will protrude a bit, and the back of the switch is closed off. So it is a closed off switch, which is nice. Now, in total, it will have a clack on the bottom, and it is very high pitched. I'm not a big fan of the high pitched sound, but we just also want to test out here real quick the distance of how far the switch will go down. So sorry, I thought my camera was focused when I was recording this, but it looks like it was not fully at that time. But as you can see there, from 15, and then we go all the way down to 11.5. So we're looking at a 3.5 millimeter distance for this specific switch. And of course, I'll have the links in the description for all of these switches. Now, overall, everything with the backlighting and everything, my personal preference is still, as I said, going to be the Owlabs Ti switch, as well as the Geon Raw HE. Let me know down below in the comments what your guys' thoughts are and which one was your favorite out of all of them. And of course, please go check out the other videos I got, and I'll have to catch you guys next time. But I'll have all the links in the description for all the switches that were in this video. So see you guys. Peace.